I'm still really woozy. Tyler, I saw that you got a letter in the mail from Elle. I haven't watched your video yet, but I did get a link to the Dropbox account. And I didn't listen to all the songs, but I saw the picture, and I listened to the clip that had my voice memo in it, and I clicked out. I couldn't handle anything more than that. The picture was of me and my godmother's kids, and I made a video about that 5 years ago, and I don't have anything new to say on the subject. They're fine, and that's all I want to say about that. I think that video is still up. I'll try to find it. When I'm falling, like when I can feel my mood start to slip through the cracks, I reach out, and whatever I catch ends up being the thing that I cling to. It could be anything: movies, books, video games, religion, even people. When my godmother died, I want you guys to know that it was at a point when I was losing a lot of people in my life. My godmother died, both of her parents died, my dad's mom died. All within 3 weeks of each other, all for completely different reasons. I loved those boys like they were my own. And giving them up was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It killed me. And it all happened so fast, I never really gave myself a chance to grieve. And when it was all over, I looked up one day and I had finished high school. And I met Madison the next week, and I threw myself into that. And when that was over, it was time for me to start college. Helping Madison and Adam and Abby and Thomas gave me a confidence I never knew I had. And when I got to college, I was so happy with the idea of possibilities that I was running rampant, and unfortunately I wasn't watching where I was going. A friend of mine committed suicide pretty early on in college, near Valentine's Day. And it sent me right back to phase 1. I was so upset and hopeless and desperate for answers that I began joining a lot of groups. Intersectionality and interfaith types. And as it always goes in situations like these, I met a boy. Jordan was in a band, and he was light and funny and silly and sweet and everything that I thought I wanted at the time. We had an odd friendship that became more than that. And when I called him on it, he said he was really into his religion. He was a member of a branch of Christianity that didn't look too fondly on same-sex relationships, as most do. And his religion was letting him live on his own for a bit and experiment with things and see the world. And they actually endorsed that kind of thing. And I never, ever pressured him to do anything other than to be himself. And I never asked him to pick me over his religion. But when the time came, I really thought he would. This is where everything you guys have been asking me comes into play. Jordan had a roommate who was really into him, and he was like really territorial over him. And every time that he and I were hanging out, Jordan's roommate would always make a big deal to outdo me at every chance. And hit on me at the same time. It always made me really uncomfortable. When Jordan and I stopped talking, Jordan transferred and moved to Florida, and his roommate moved with him, and that was the last I'd heard of them until last year when my family and I went on that vacation to Florida, and I thought it would be a good idea to go visit Aurora, and when she flaked, Jordan's roommate found out that I was down there because of my social networking and my family's social networking, and while I was waiting on Aurora to show up, it got pretty heated. But before anything really bad could happen, my mom showed up. And after all that dust settled, she made me delete all my social networks. The reason why I haven't brought up any of this to her is because at the time, she made me feel like that whole thing with Jordan's roommate was my fault. And if I told her about the pigeon and Madison and everything, well, she would probably do it again and stop me from making videos, and I can't stand the idea of going through that again. And as for Jordan, well, when he found out, he just shrugged the whole thing off. At one point in our friend relationship thing, Jordan and I began communicating through voice memos. Just over breaks and whenever we were separated and stuff. The clip that you heard in that track was a voice memo that I sent to Jordan in 2012. The first time we did it, I asked him if he wanted to Skype instead, and he picked some arbitrary date in the future that was years away. Well, I checked, and turns out that date that he picked wasn't so arbitrary after all. It was this week. He's a damn fool if he thinks that I'm going to stick around and wait to talk to him. I don't want anything to do with him. I deleted all those voice memos a long time ago. Or at least I think I did. I'm noticing a theme here. I'm supposed to be dead. My past is coming back to haunt me. I'm not crazy about where all of this is going.